Okay, Hazelnigga here, doing a kind of review type vlog for this tire setup I have on the DR650 right now. So me and my buddy here, the Cactus Puncher DR650, newly upgraded with a Acerbo 6.6 gallon tank, and boy was it hard to get that sucker on there without it interfering with any stuff. So anyway, that's besides the point of the video. The point of the video is uh, I'm getting Cactus Puncher DR650 ready for another adventure. It's been more than a year since we've gone on an adventure ride. But the last ride we went on was LA to Barcelona to Vegas. This event right here. So we rode in the 2018 LA to Barcelona to Vegas, and we kicked ass. So the bike did very good. I had ridden it in 2016, and it kicked our asses. So is what I'm gonna say. It kicked our asses good, but this time we did the opposite. We gave it a 1-2 punch in the face, and we made it. So, yeah. So I tried a new tire combo, and I wanted to do a quick review on this tire combo. So this is a '97 Suzuki DR650, and it's running the stock wheel setup. And I'm running a D606 in the rear and a TKC80 or a Continental Twinduro in the front. So how did I wind up with this tire? I think, man, I don't even remember how I got this tire. I know when I got this tire, it was fairly new. I think I bought a brand new wheel. Not a brand new wheel. I bought a wheel off of somebody that I think they changed. I think they upgraded the front to like a 19 or something, or they went down a size. So these are the stock size wheels, and I want to do a review on this tire combo right here. I have never run the TKC80 or the D606, so, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it. So the riding that we did about 500 miles through the Mojave Desert. Lots of sand, some rocks, deep sand, and kind of like power line trails, that kind of stuff. And this combo worked really well for LA to Barcelona to Vegas. I was really impressed with it. The D606 had, I'd like to say, about 90% on it. I didn't buy it brand new. And I think this one had about, this one actually I rode this on Nevada BDR, so this tire has more than 1,000 miles on it. It's got to have, this has got to have at least around 3,000 or 4,000 miles on this one, and this one is just about done. It looks like it's got plenty of meat on it, but you can see here where it's starting to cup. We're starting to reach at the base of the knob, so you can probably ride this tire still. I would say maybe you got about 20% left on this tire before you'd want to replace it, but you probably, if you're gonna go, if I'm gonna go on a long adventure ride, I'm not gonna run this tire, so that's why this one's got to go on it, and that's why I got this Shinko 804 Adventure tire in here. So yeah, let's talk about the front. So since I had the front on the longest, actually, yeah, so for LA to Barcelona Vegas, we ran this tire combo, but this tire has been on this bike for Nevada BDR. This is the first time I've used the Continental TKC80s, and I'm really impressed with them. I like them a lot. I have previously run this tire in the past, Shinko 804, which is the front big block Shinko Adventure tire. It's very, very, very comparable to this tire. In fact, it's pretty much the same thing. In my opinion, you can get more miles out of this guy, Shinko 804. The TKC80 is a softer compound, and it wears faster. But it's a front tire. Front tires don't wear as fast as the rear tires, so I think it's still for a front tire. I think it's a great front tire. It'll last probably as long, or no, I'm pretty sure it'll last as long or longer as a rear tire on the bike, whatever tire you got back there, unless you got like something that lasts really long. But I rode a good amount of pavement with it, and it's a pretty good street tire. I don't think I didn't ride too much wet stuff in it, so I don't really know how it does in the wet, but I'd imagine it does okay. It does pretty good in the wet, I think, because it's a pretty soft compound. It's a big block knobby, very similar to this guy. And yeah, it lasts a long time. It lasts a long time, but it doesn't last as long as this guy here. I would say, what was it, 3? You might be able to get 2 tire changes out of it, actually. That's what I'm thinking. 2 tire changes, and this is no good anymore. So maybe after, it'll definitely last you, you know, around like 2 rear tire changes. So depending on how you ride, but that's what my guess is. So because I've had this tire on here for quite a bit. It handled the Nevada BDR, which is roughly 900 miles of dirt trails going through Nevada, and a good amount of pavement. And we did use this in LAB to V. I think when I had it in LAB to V, boy, it must have been less than 50% on it, but I said like, hey, that's fine, I think it's okay still. And we ran it, and I was surprised. This tire did very good. My initial impressions in the sand were that it wasn't as good as these tires in the beginning. When I first started riding with it, I noticed it's a little more slippery in the sand, but I ran about 22. I run 22 psi all the time. I don't air my tires down. I run 22 on the street, on the pavement, simply because if this bike is a rim bender, man. It bends rims like easily. Look at how beat up this wheel is. So if I run anything lower than like 20, I start bending the wheel. So I started just running 22 psi. So that's the tire pressure I run on these 2 tires here. So my opinion, in the soft sand, these tires are amazing. I caught it. It saved me like a handful of times in the sand, like where I thought it might actually just dig in and wash out. It did not. It actually gripped. It saved my ass. I've had it knife into like really soft sand sometimes, but it's probably more my fault, you know. But these tires saved my ass in the soft sand a couple times. So, and then yeah. So I remember I was really impressed with them. I think it's a great tire. It's as good as this. Now, why, Hades Omega, did you not buy another TKC80 for the front this time around? Well, because the Shinkos were like $30 cheaper than the TKC80s. TKC80 is expensive tire. I think that's where its downfall is compared to the Shinko 804. This bad boy lasts longer. It performs about the same. In fact, I would say this one probably performs better on the street, a little better, but their performance is roughly the same. I rode one of these guys to the other side of the United States to start the TAT, and I think I rode the North Carolina to the Mississippi TAT, and then I replaced it with a crappy Golden Boy tire. But yeah, if I had a chance to run it again, I would use them. They're good tires, but they're more expensive than these, so that's why I bought this instead of this. They're very comparable. This one lasts longer. Yeah, this one lasts longer. I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember how it was to put this tire on. I don't think it was too hard. Yeah. So that's all I can say for the front. This is a 90-90-21. Double check here. Yep, 90. Yeah, 90-90-21. Yep. This is a 90-90-21 54T. It's a tube tire. So this tire's never mind. It says tubeless on it on the side. So this tire is actually designed for a tubeless wheel. So yeah. But this is a tube wheel. So you would think maybe it might be a little harder to install because it's a little stiffer, the sidewalls, than a tube tire. But I honestly, it's been a while since I've had it on there. This tire has been on here for like a year and a half or something, more than a year and a half. So okay, so that's the TKC80. I think it's a great tire. I did ride it in the mud. Yes, I did ride it in the mud in Nevada. And for the big block tires, I do know, I'll tell you this, the big block tires in the mud are not, they're not very good. They pack up, instead of like, it's kind of like a cross between a knobby tire and like a, one of just a regular dual sport tire. Kind of like this guy here. This is a Shinko 705, I think. It's a 700. Yeah, this is a Shinko 705. So it's kind of like a cross between this and a knobby like this. And then you got the big block. So it's kind of like a hybrid design. And in mud, okay, it'll be okay until you get to some really nasty, muddy stuff. Then the knobs, the tire gets packed up with mud, and it don't want to grip no more. So these are really muddy conditions. No, not very good. But they'll get you by if it's not super muddy. Just occasional mud holes, no problem. Yeah. So sand and dirt, it's a great 50-50 tire. It's a great 50-50 tire. Just carving up canyons and stuff, it'll do it. And it's nice and soft and grippy. So Hazemaker gives his thumbs of approval for this for adventure riding. It's a great adventure riding tire. It lasts a long time because it's the front tire. I've never run the TKC80 rear, but I heard they wear out faster. Yeah, and it like all these front knobby tires, they cup when they they start to cup when they get old, but it wears nicely too. As it wears out, it still provides adequate gripping performance, is what I'm going to say. Yeah, that's what I like about this design. Instead of going like with straight knobbies, when your knobs get to like less than 50%, you start to notice it doesn't grip as well. This pretty much provides the same performance until about it is right now. So okay, so this is the rear tire. I'm running the D606. It's 130/90/17. This is the first time I run this tire, and I like these tires a whole lot too. I was surprised how well these did in the desert. So I only put these on for LAB to V, and I rode it for LAB to V about 500-ish miles in the desert, and then I went home after that. That was another about 500 miles to get back to the van, basically, and load it up. So I got about 1,000 miles on these. I think these had about 75% tread, and they're probably, I would say they're about 25% right now. It's the first time I've run them. They're a very aggressive knobby tire. I would say that's like a 75-25, as in like 75 off, 25 on, or even like a 80-20, 80 off, 20 on. Let me tell you what I don't like about them. The one thing I don't like about them is it's a very hard compound. So it does kind of lasts a while, but they howl a lot on the freeway. It has a very noticeable howling sound on the freeway, and yeah, they're very loud at freeway speeds. That's what I didn't like about it. I didn't really notice the knobs all that much, so it doesn't make your bike vibrate a whole lot, so it was okay. It rode fine on the road. I've never rode with them in the wet, so I can't comment on that. I would imagine maybe they're not so well. Maybe you just slow down when it gets wet. Yeah, so this is a 130/90/17. What I did like about this tire is it was really easy to install. So I have a video of me installing this tire before LAB to V, and I was surprised at how much easier it was to install this tire compared to this tire right here, the Shinko 805 Adventure. And I know why, because these are 90 profile, while these are 80 profile. These are lower profile, so these are harder to install, and they're stiffer. So I feel that the D606 had softer sidewalls, probably because it's taller, and it was easier to install. I was surprised at how easy it was to install. I was like, wow, man, I'm gonna get used to this. So if you get a flat on the trail or whatever, it makes it easier to work on. So that's what I like about this guy. That's one of the things I noticed about installing it. It was really easy, you know. Maybe I got lucky. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting good at it, but I thought it was way easier to put on than a Shinko 805. The Shinko 805, it always fights me a little bit. Grip was fantastic in the sand. Sand and the dirt and the rocks, it'll take it all. No problem. I was surprised how well. Okay, so I was surprised how well it did in the soft sand, the really soft stuff. It does really good. On like kind of gravel or like a hard packed dirt with like some sand on top, it was a little slippery. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't so good for the soft. It wasn't so good for the hard stuff, is what I'm gonna say. Rocks are okay, but like kind of gravel and like a like a gravel, like a hard packed road, kind of like a fire road sorta. I felt they were a little slippery, you know. They slipped all over the place. But in the sand, they did pretty damn good. We rode a lot of really choppy sand, you know, and it did a great job. It was a great on the DR650. Yeah, so you can take a quick look at the tires real quick, see how they look. Okay, got the little camera out here. I'm gonna get the light out here, and these are what the tires look like after about 1,000 miles, mostly dirt riding in the Mojave Desert. And they actually look pretty good. You can see I got a chunk right here. There's a chunk right there. The knobs are pretty worn out, but it's still okay. It actually kind of reminds me of a Michelin T63 a little bit. So you can see the base of the knob is starting to crack right there. Yeah, I beat the crap out of this tire, man. I did not go easy on it, and look at it. It looks pretty worn. But would I still ride this in the dirt? Yeah, I would still ride this on the dirt. I'd say this is about 25%. Would I go on a long adventure ride with this right now? No, I wouldn't. It probably wouldn't last very long. And yeah, they howl on the freeway. I don't think they don't make a very good adventure riding tire if you're gonna do a good mix of street and dirt, you know. I say this is a good tire if you know you're gonna be doing a lot of dirt riding. It's a good dirt tire, man. I heard they're even better if you air them down. So, but like I said, I ran 22 psi on this guy, and it did fantastic in the desert. I was amazed. Oh, okay, yeah. So, I did have a little bit of trouble riding in the the Red Rock Canyon section of the LEB2V. It was kind of like a rock garden, rock hopping type of thing, and I could not get traction on some parts because I had my bike gear down really low. And I remember I had this like somebody told me to put it in second gear and slip the crap out of the clutch, and it worked. So these tires spin really easily on the rocks. Yeah, it's probably, you know, if I lowered the tire pressure, maybe not. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to bend the wheel. So it's always it's always a compromise. You always get a compromise. Do you want better grip overall, or do you want to like bend your wheel when you hit a rock with it really hard, you know? And I was in a really rocky section. I would not want to do that, you know. So yeah. So that's my thoughts on the D606. It's great on the soft stuff. It's okay. It's a little slippery on the really hard pack stuff. Really easy to install. They wear. Like I said, I beat the crap out of these tires. I didn't go easy on them, and they still look like they can still take a little bit of a more fight, you know. No major knobs chunking, nothing like that. And like I said, I rode this tire hard. I'm pretty amazed by it. Cost, I don't remember. I didn't buy this tire. I think I got this tire with one of the wheels I bought, and it had a good amount of meat on it still. So it'll be okay on the pavement, but you don't want to do too much pavement on it. It wears out really fast. Yeah, it does kind of wear out a little bit fast. Somebody I rode somebody on the TAT that had one and here's this one right here. So you can see this one has a really flat profile. You can tell whoever used this tire before, they rode on the freeway a whole lot, or just on the pavement. Yeah, they rode in a straight line. It's got like a big chicken strip on it. So that's what happens to it when you just ride on a straight line all the time with it. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the D606. I feel that if you were just going to do like just ride from trail to, it's a good tire if you're going to ride from trail to trail. You know, you're just going to do a little pavement to get to your next dirt section, and then get on another dirt trail. It's great on the sand, really good on the sand. If you're crawling on the rocks, not so good unless you lower the tire pressure, I'm thinking, but I didn't want to do that and bend the wheel. And it was really easy to install, so I'm really impressed with this setup. I would run it again. Yeah, I would run it again. I would even do it for adventure ride. Some people use them for adventure riding tires, and they work just fine. And they certainly good enough on the DR650 with its monstrous torque. That's what I'm gonna say. So yeah. So that was my quick, well, not so quick review on the TKC80 front and the D606 rear combo. I thought it worked really good. So, and the reason I was gonna make this vlog is because I'm gonna go change the tires. So we're gonna be using this guy right here, and so yeah, I gotta change these out because we're going on a long ride. Would I still use the bike? You know, would I still just use this bike to ride around town or go hit up the closest trail and ride? Yeah, I would. I still would. I would still, but if I was gonna go on a long adventure ride, I would not use these tires anymore. They're pretty much 25% done. They got 25% life left on them. They ain't got much life to live. All right, here's my go.